And I love challenges. That's why when my grandma told me, like, you can't take up nursing because you're gonna pass out with a sight of blood, I'm like, oh, watch me. Watch me, grandma. Yeah, how much do you want to bet? Let's do this. Like, I don't believe in astrology, but I'm a Taurus. The more you challenge me, the more I'm gonna prove you wrong. The more I'm gonna prove you I'm right.
Welcome to Linguist Access Podcast, where we all get together to learn more about inspiring stories behind every journey that will give you the courage to push past challenges and overcome obstacles, all for God's glory, with your host, Shalini Oritaves.
Welcome to Linguist Access Podcast. My name is Sha. Today our guest is a good friend of mine. Her name is Rauvi Vidad, also known as Rauvi Blackwell. She's an RN, she is a BSN, and an APRN. She's a psychiatric and mental health nurse practitioner for 8 years, but she also worked in hospital as an RN for several years as well. But I think she has a medical, surgical, telemetry, postpartum, and day shift surgery experience for 8 years in Texas before she became an APRN, and also a nurse in the Philippines. She also has massive experience as a clinical instructor and also as a staff nurse. Welcome to the show, Bing!
Thanks for having me here. It's very nice for you to do this, to uplift this, fellow nurses. Like, it's for a good cause. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I really thought of you because I'm a fan of yours. I always watch your Facebook. I make sure that I'm always updated. But anyway, before I continue, is there anything that you would like me to say something about your bio? You want our listeners or viewers to know about you?
I'm a mother also. I have 3 children. My eldest gonna be she turned 20. So she's gonna graduate from her BS in neuroscience next year, hoping to be a doctor. Hopefully soon. That's my eldest. Oh my God, I'm so old, right? I already have 20. And then my middle one is 15, a boy, and my youngest is 14. I guess it's like kind of, for me, important to incorporate that because like I said, later on, we're going to tackle about the challenges that they were part of. But, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Bing. Thank you for really sharing your time with us. Now, let's keep the ball rolling. I want to know your story. Can you tell us your story? What is your story, Bing?
From Philippines, you know what's so funny? That's why, like, kind of, for me, I guess it's important, like, Shana, for me to, like, share something because, like you said, these nurses na sabi mo, merong, what do you call that? Recession for 5 to 10 years. Tapos, and then I really applaud all these nurses for working, everything they can to get here, taking the NCLEX, of course, the IELTS with you. And I guess in life, it's not a race, really. It doesn't matter when you get here. You know what I mean? Like, the journey, just enjoy it. So there's really no race, even if it takes time, because at the end of the day, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it.
That's true.
So I know kanang saddening kaayo to think na, they're thinking about or dreaming about, because to be honest, like, especially for those nurses na they really dream to be here, because me, like, it's funny because I was probably the last to be here in America. I never expected to be here, nor did I think of coming here. I didn't take no, while all my classmates took NCLEX, IELTS, and they passed. I didn't really think of, being here. So it's just, for me, it's a different story. For me, it's a stroke of luck. How much more for those people who really yearn it in their heart. You just have to continue manifesting that you're going to be, you're going to reach your dream to get here and work. So just don't lose hope. That's what I would say.
Yeah. So, Bing, you graduated 2005 as a nurse in the Philippines. Yeah. What made you decide to come to the US?
Well, in my case, I don't know if you know, but I came in with my husband. So I came in and not on, that's what I'm saying. I never really thought of coming in here, but I came through my husband. So when I get here, and it wasn't something like I planned on like doing and thinking, because by then, as you know, I was a single mom. And when all our colleagues like going to Saudi, to wherever, and even my family were, everyone is pushing me like, you go abroad, this, but I can't, because you know how difficult it is to bring a child abroad. So I didn't go for it. So that's why it wasn't in my thought at that point to like go anywhere else.
So you were not working as a nurse when you came here?
Yes. So when I came here in October, I believe. Yes, October of 2027. I've been here since 27.
Oh, 2007? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came here in 2007 because my son was born December 2008.
Okay.
And then I was pregnant when I took my NCLEX. I remember that.
Wow.
So I came here October, then the following year I just did review for the NCLEX really like on my own, and then I went to this, like I think it's called like the Kaplan whatever, for a week, and I was pregnant then I took my NCLEX like after like 2 weeks after I did my review, and I passed. But obviously then I had a kid, so I didn't get to work.
Oh,
I didn't get to work until the following year. So I just like stayed home by then. So I started working formally as a nurse in like March of 2009. My youngest was like 6 months old or something.
you had a newborn and you took there were just so many things going on at that time.
I was pregnant with my second child.
Wow.
When I took the NCLEX, and I'm done. I've completed, but I didn't get to work until the following year. I had another baby, the third baby. And when she was 6 months old, that's when I started working. It was a choice because, like my kids are babies and I had to be there. So I've been a nurse. I've been a USRN for like more than a year before I even started practicing.
I know there's just so many things going on, and I can only imagine the struggle there. You have an infant, and then you needed to work, and then you had your third baby.
I have a funny story, Yang. So the way it's funny because the way I got my second job is fine because I was applying and they've been calling me, but I couldn't work. So maybe my baby is like 2 months old, my second child, 2 months old. So I told my husband to get a vasectomy. So we went to that hospital where I submitted my application. So while waiting for my husband's vasectomy schedule, I told my husband, I said, oh, can I just swing by to the HR and just kind of like see how much they offer and everything? So I went and I said, hey, you've been calling me. I'm not ignoring you guys, but I have a baby, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, what's your name? And then they're like, oh my gosh, we need nurse. We need a nurse. So we need to, yes. So can you do the interview now? So I had to cancel my husband's vasectomy.
Oh
So
my.
I could go and then I worked. And then I get accepted right there and then.
Wow, that's amazing. So I think that would be an encouragement as well to a lot of nurses out there that once you're here, you're just gonna be surprised that everyone wants to offer you a job.
A lot of opportunities. Like, yes. Like I just walk in, I'm like, no, I'm just asking for, no, let's interview you. Let's do it now. And then, okay, you're accepted. You can start whenever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Bing, did any of your experience back home prepare you in your career here in the US? I mean, in what way, if there's any?
I think one of the interview that you had with one of the nurses, or I think she was medtech or something. I guess I share the same sentiment with her. The only thing I guess like we're very resilient. We want to learn, but how advanced America compared to the Philippines. Just like little things such as IV pump. We didn't have that back then. SCDs, we didn't have that back then. Like, so we don't, so those little things like that, we didn't have that at our disposal back in our time in the Philippines. So I'd say, the advancement of the technology really like shocked me. I'm like, oh my god, how to, we don't have we don't have this. But it was like it was an easy learning. And I guess like really like one thing I can say, like I'm very fortunate. You know how like newbies, like the seniors will like eat them alive. So but like you just have to, I guess my experience in the Philippines kind of like equipped me to be in this position. So I just, like I just learn as I go.
So, Bing, can you describe a challenging situation or obstacle you encountered at your workplace? I mean, you said you were adjusting, you were trying to, learn the tools, the equipment that they're using. But was there any instant where you would say, oh, this is really almost like I'm failing? I mean, it's not working for me. Was there any situation that you felt,
Like the thought na you're gonna quit because this is
yeah, this is too much?
no. I guess because like I stayed home for like some year before I started. Like I was just so excited to work, so I just wanted to work. Like I would just wanted to work. So I can't remember like going home like crying, oh, I'm not gonna go back tomorrow, or I know I could not remember because like it was what I wanted to do to work. So um it was it was challenging too, like frustrating, like when you start a job, like you don't know, this doctor does not like this specific like thing. Oh, this doctor, he wants his patient post-op just to walk, stuff like that, your little things. And oh my god, like if they're going for like, let's say urology, they need that bag flowing even up to the last minute, it's things like that. And then the doctor were like, who is that nurse who sent this patient down without this little thing like that? So I guess it's just small things that I wouldn't really say like, but
Really frustrating.
don't get me wrong, it was so frustrating. Yeah, it was so frustrating. I remember like it was the morphine ampule. God, I haven't worked in the medical field for so long. So what's the pain medicine at the most we have in the Philippines? What the Toradol or something like that, right? I am okay.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time, like, I pulled the morphine from the syringe, and then it was a certain milligram or something. And then I push it back and it just like burst. Like the whole ampule just burst. And I was like, like, I'm like, oh, okay, you have to do it. But I'm like, I could not remember we had a medicine and an ampule in the Philippines. Like, you know what I mean? So those little,
Yeah.
just, this little thing. And of course, those, yeah, they have to be in telemetry. Was there ever an I guess an ICU back in the Philippines, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We share the same, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess those little things that like really manageable. But you can't help but feel really little stupid. Like, like sometimes like, oh my God, they're probably thinking, like, hey, listen, I came from a small town. These things do not exist. And so you have to kind of like explain to them, I'm not just dumb. It's just, I haven't seen this before. So yun. But other than that, there's really no major,
Okay.
I didn't, thankfully.
But Bing, why did you decide na sige, mag-nurse practitioner ako? I mean, you had your kids, you said you were like a single mom. I wasn't quite sure with the timeline, but like,
It's another,
whoosh.
it's another funny story because like, so at night when I was working as staff nurse, so I'm charge nurse. So we have a lot of like travel nurses before. And like I don't really like want to like talk bad about them, but if you are employed in that hospital, like per se, like you have that sense of responsibility. You're coming back the next day, so you have to do your job. But I'd say some travel nurses are like, oh, I'm not coming back. I don't know what hospital I'm going to be tomorrow. Kind of like sometimes they do like half job pretty much.
Mhm.
So, and then I have this nurse, and she's very, I don't know how to, she's so sweet, actually. She's so sweet. And she would like, whenever I was charge nurse, like, she would like tell me, like, after 6 hours, like, we're graveyard shift. And then she told me, Ruby, from 6 to like 12 a.m., I only have like 45 cc of urine. I'm like, 30 ml per hour is the norm. And you're going to tell me at midnight that the patient only had like 45, 15 cc. Now we're going to call the on-call urologist. Like,
Mhm.
like seriously, like,
I know.
really,
Mhm.
And there's one time, like, it was almost like 6 a.m. Just like, my patient's blood pressure has been in 80 out of, like 80 over 40. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like,
Me too.
I'm just like, I said, oh my gosh. So every time, like, I work, I'm the charge and she's there. I'm always like, I learn my lesson. I'm like, hey, Melissa, do you need anything? Like, hey, I have to like, how's the urine? How's that? Hey, all your IVs good? Blah, 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 blah,
Dramatic.
blah. Are they all working? So I have to, and then one day she came up to me and she said, Privy, I thank you for everything that you've taught me, you've done for me. Like, I learned a lot. I enjoyed working with you. I'm like, oh, are you done with your traveling contract? She told me, she said, no, I just passed my exam. Like, exam for what? It's like, I'm a family nurse practitioner now. I was like, bless the hearts of your patient. I'm like,
Yeah. Good
excuse,
luck.
like, at the back of my mind, I'm like, excuse me,
I
like,
know. Uh-huh.
and then I was like, man, if she can do it, I will do it. Like, I can do it. Like, she challenged me. And you know
Uh-huh.
what's so funny? But I didn't want to be a family NP. Then I have a friend, like, she's reading a book. Like, she's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm in psych NP. And then I was like, oh, why psych? It's like, she's like, well, I don't need no test to tell them they have mental issue. I just have to talk to them, write prescription, and my job is done. I don't have to wait for test, interpret. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then, that nurse, the first nurse that was my issue.
Uh-huh.
So I'm seeing my primary care provider, and that was the time when this, the NPs are, helping out, whatever. She became my primary care provider. Okay.
Wow.
And we were like laughing because two of my colleagues, we see the same doctor, and she's like, oh my God, like Dr. Connolly was not there. Guess who's there? I said, I know, it's Melissa. And then it was so funny because, like, it was like, one time I went there for like UTI,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, Melissa, can I see the, it's not like I didn't trust her. I was like, hey, can you see my, what's the WBC? Okay. Well, what are you doing? All right. You're going to give me macrobed? I was like, it was funny. So
Uh-huh.
it was actually a funny story. So that's how everything actually started. Yeah. Like, why I decided to be a nurse and an NP
So you were
to begin
working
with.
as a nurse and then you were studying as an NP all at the same time.
Yes.
Plus your
So
kid.
I was,
So you had like,
and I have a kid. So I work night shift because right after 11 p.m. everything is like quiet down, and I'm so lucky to have worked with amazing, like, group of, like, they know I'm in school. So I'm like, our nurses station has this back corner and whatever. Oh, they already know that's Rauvi's spot because I study at night to keep me awake,
wow.
to stay awake for the whole shift. Plus, I'm studying, so I do my work. I do my school work. Well, it's kind of like hitting two birds in one stone per se. So that's what I did. So I'm lucky. They're very supportive because, like, one time, like, um yeah, of course we have this, like, it's kind of a return demonstration. Like, I will tell my co-nurse, like, hey, I have a return demonstration tomorrow, so I need a patient. So let's go. You're gonna be my patient. So what are your symptoms? So, oh, I'm depressed, 6 out of 10. Like, they help me out. They become my patient. all right, so I'm gonna diagnose you with this. So I'm gonna start you with this medication. The drug is this. The side effects are this. So my coworkers were my patients. So it was actually like for me, like it was easy. And like I said, I have small kids, so I just have to like be creative about my time.
And you were able to manage it. Amazing. You did really
As
great. Yeah, your effort has paid off. So I would say, will you consider yourself successful now?
yeah, that's your question. That's why I keep telling. I was telling like, so my friend wants to do he like me to be in this podcast, and then say I don't really see myself successful. I guess how do you call that in Filipino? Like don't wag mong ano yung bangko mo.
Maakin yung
Wag ka magmayabang or something. I don't really like consider myself successful. Like I guess I'm just really like I guess I'm just really fortunate na the path I took kind of worked well for me, I'd say. And I see a lot of like benefits whenever because I've been a nurse, staff nurse here in the US for maybe like what 9 years before I even considered going into NP school. So like when I think about things, that's one of my I would have done it. Like you only required to do like 2 3 years of experience and then you can do NP. That's all you have to do. I would have done it way sooner.
Really?
So that's what I keep telling, like, like when I see new nurses, like, hey, listen, and, we're going to go on this field because I guess for me, it's just really the way I look, no career is perfect, but I really like what I do compared to, when I work like 12-hour shift, like just time wise, because I do have kids as well and stuff like that. So you work on a normal hours with them. It's kind of more like helpful, but I don't, yeah. Speak with the question, would I consider myself successful? No, I probably would just say like, I've probably just upgraded myself a little bit more.
So, being what is successful in your own definition?
Really for me success is like when it's funny even because like I said it's not even my dream. The things that happen in my life is actually like chance, fate, or whatever. And to begin with, I never dreamed to be a nurse. I was
So, what?
raised in my mind to be a lawyer.
Oh,
So I took pre-law. I took political science before because I never had a dream on my own. I never had a dream on my own. Like, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, what do you want to be? A teacher, an astronaut, this and that. I don't know. I was raised with my grandma as a teacher. My grandma was like, oh, no. You're going to be taking education because when I retire, I'll give you my post. You know how that work in the Philippines.
yeah.
Then my dad was like, no. You are going to be a lawyer, blah, 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 from the get-go. Then my mom thinks like, I want to see you on TV. You can take journalism or broadcasting or what. So I'm like, whatever. So when I graduated high school, most of my friends went to nursing school. So I said, sucks. But I'm like, okay, well, let me just like try to take the political science. So I went to MSU. You went to MSU as well. We both did. No. You went to UP Diliman. So I went to MSU first. And then I said, I don't really want to do this. And then all my friends went to nursing school. And I just like, then I told my grandma, like, I want to do nursing. And she's like, no, you faint with the sight of a blood. You're not going to be able to do it. You're just going to waste money. I said, no. I promise I won't. So
okay.
I would say like you say about success, like everything in my life, really, to be honest with you, is like, it's not a dream. Like it happened as I walked through in life. And I'm so grateful because now that I'm a nurse, I could not think of any other job to do other than being a nurse.
Wow.
So that's what like I keep telling.
From her, guys.
Yeah, I keep telling people like for me that this is not my dream and it happened to me. How much more for people who work really hard for it and yearn in their heart that they're going to be manifest in their heart that I'm going to be this, Well, obviously when I was already in the program, like a nursing program, that obviously at that point, like, oh my God, I hope I pass or I hope this is going to happen. Yeah. But it's just like, yeah, it's never my dream to be a nurse.
But you sounded like everything was made easy. But I know it's challenging. I know it's not that easy, but whenever it's coming from
But I
you,
work hard. Yeah. But
exactly.
even if like it's not something I dream of, like I work hard for where I'm at right now.
And I
Like,
think
I work hard.
and your personality is you're a go-getter, like, whatever it is that you're
Always. Yeah.
yeah, she even said that she don't accept a no, according to my research.
Yes, I always. And I love challenges. That's why when my grandma told me like you can't no 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 you can't take up nursing because you're gonna pass out with the sight of blood. I'm like, oh, watch me. Like, watch me, grandma. Yeah, how much do you want to bet? Let's do this. Like
Yeah, I know.
so the more I don't believe in astrology, but I'm a Taurus. The more you challenge me, the more I'm gonna prove you wrong. The more I'm gonna prove you I'm right. So that has the stubbornness too, and yeah, I refuse really. Like no, like
Yeah. So,
maybe this is gonna be like off the record. So I got pregnant and Notre Dame out of wedlock. So the teachers back then already told me like, okay, first of all, I'm the least favorite of my teachers in Notre Dame. Okay, they all despise me. I'm not even kidding. Like you can ask people. Like yes, because I was a party girl
really?
during those times. Like for yes. So when I got pregnant, and then they told me like, like when you decide to come back, you can't come back without, like you need to get married, whatever. But it's not an option because of my family, like with my ex, were like, no, 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 no. So the next year when I because I had to wait another year because I only missed one major subject, so I have to wait for another year. They initially refused to admit me to, and I said, oh, I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Then I went to this. We have this. Remember that English teacher we both had? You, me, and Sybil. We had that English teacher. I forgot. So her daughter is also a single mom who was a student at Notre Dame at that time taking accounting. So she told me, she's like, oh, no, Ruby, that's not true. Go back to nursing school and tell them I said that why would you not accept me while teacher this daughter is also a wedlock, but she's in school studying. So I went back to nursing school and said, I just refuse to say no. I look for an answer to get around that because they refused to take me back. Then I was like, all right, if that would be the case, why would this, and that accepted? Why would you refuse to accept me? So they had no choice. They accepted me back.
I'm so proud of you, Bing. I'm so proud. We were classmates in one of the subjects, and yeah, I would say
English.
she was loud, but like I would say care any less with the people around her. That's something really like strike me. I would say that very carefree, but I would say working
Yes.
so hard for everything that she's doing in her.
That's the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, only here on Linguist Access Podcast. Thank you for listening to Linguist Access Podcast. Please give us a review on iTunes, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode.